Question 24 builds directly off of question 20. In fact, it refers back to it, right? Uh, so what we're looking to do here is calculate the standard deviation, rounded to 2 decimal places. Okay, show our work and all that kind of stuff. So standard deviation comes from the variance. Again, we don't use the variance, but we calculate it. And we need to have the expected value, the mean, so mu, what the expected value is, which is this value here. And you might want to look back at the video for 20 to see this all worked out and explained. But now that we've got this mean, we're going to take each of the x values, right? Because that's deviation is deviating from the mean. This is an x value. This is like, it's not one of the random variables, but if you did a lot of times, that's what we would get, right? So this is an x value. We're going to take a -2. We're going to subtract this mean from each of these. I'm going to start this over here, give myself some room. I'm going to take -2 and I'm going to subtract off the mean. And when I subtract off a negative number, remember that's actually going to add to it. We're going to square that, because remember, if we just doing variance before, if you don't, then you add all these together and you get 0. And then to kind of get the weighting, instead of dividing by n like we would do with if this was data, we're going to multiply by the probability. So I'll do it in the front, 0.2. That's going to give me that value. I'm going to add to it. Let's go ahead and do this probability of this happening times that x value, subtract the mean from it, and since the mean is negative, we're going to add 0.3. We're going to square it, and then we're going to do the same thing with this variable, the value of x. So that's a 0.4 times 0 minus -0.3, so that becomes a plus 0.3. Square that, plus 0.1, x value is 1, subtract -0.3, even my best laid plan still running out of room. And then we're going to add this last one, which is 0.01, or 0.1, sorry, times 2 minus -0.3. Oops, I forgot to square these last two, right? So that's our formula. When we add that, that's going to give us the variance. So I'm going to put that here. And then to get the standard deviation, we're going to just take the square root. So let's go ahead and put this in. And again, you could do it individually, write them down, but however, whatever method works for you. I think I'm going to enter all these as I go in one line. So let me clear this stuff out. 0.2. And you can do times or something. I think with the parentheses it's implied, but -2. Now make sure you use right negative, not this subtract. -2 plus 0.3. We're going to square that. We're going to add 0.2 times 1 minus, 1 plus 1 plus 0.3. Oops, not 1, it's -1. Gotta be careful here. I'm gonna need to move my calculator off screen so we can see what we're doing. But I want you to see what I'm entering, so you could see whether I got an error or not. Oh, I need to square that, right? Each time. You got so many things going on, but you've got to make sure you get them all. And then we've got the 0.4 times 0 plus 0.03. That's going to get squared. Plus not 0, 1, 0.1 times positive 1 plus 0.03 squared, and then plus 0.1 times 2 plus 0.3 squared. And again, find your way. Remember, on the test, you don't get to check your answers. So I'm hoping these multiplies. I forgot to put multiplies, but I think it should work. Implied multiplication with the parentheses. So that should give us our variance, which is 1.311. And they want how many? 2. Okay, so that's probably plenty good for the calculator. 1.311. And then to get the standard deviation, we need the square root of 1.311. So we will go ahead and get that. Got that in there. Square root of the answer, not entry, answer is a shifted negative sign, brings it in. Hit enter. 1.14 to 2 decimal places, rounded up 1.15. Standard deviation. I guess I could just do it up here. 1.15 rounded to 2 decimal places. 1.19. Where did we go wrong here? Okay, so let's get that. 2.24. Okay, so this all looks good. Let me check my calculator. Find what I had entered wrong. Bring it down here. 0 up. And let's see. Bring that. Okay, that's good. 0.3 plus 2. Okay, that worked. That looks, oh, here it is, 0.03. Okay. Now again, that's where you got to be careful. I got to be careful. You guys are probably, oh, here's another 0.03, isn't there? Sometimes maybe it makes better sense to not put the leading 0. I don't know. So there's another error right there. I almost cut. So, you know, on a test, make sure you look through what you actually put in. I thought I had the right things. You probably saw me putting in the wrong things and were yelling at me, hey, but you know, on the video you can't. So let's do this. Here we are, 1.41, and then we're going to take the square root of that, because again, that's what we need. So square root of the answer, and we'll get our 1.187, which rounds to 1.19. So we were able to check it out. However, we got that. This was incorrect because of an, you know, it was all right. Our work was good, but our entry was not. Square root of 1.41, which gave us 1.19 rounded. I think I got 1.41. Let's do a double check. Yeah, 1.41. Take its square root. Okay, and so that does check out. Our process was correct, but execution of it in the calculator there could just be so many places to go wrong. So check those things too.